Welcome back to Consider This with me, Melisa, Idris and Sharaad Kuttan. We're speaking to Datuk Seri Mustapa Mohamed, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department in charge of the economy. Now, Datuk Seri, the Prihatin package was passed with much fanfare, but there are many who are calling for Parliament to allow this package to be scrutinised sooner rather than later. Do you agree that perhaps the package should be discussed in Parliament now instead of waiting till May 18th?
Well, that's a view, but we have done many things in the past without going to Parliament. But of course, eventually we have to go to Parliament. That's a requirement, that's the law. Anything that goes beyond the budget needs parliamentary approval. We have what we call the supplementary budget. For example, in the year 2014, we had to spend a few billion ringgit to deal with the very serious flooding situation in a few states, including my home state of Kuttan. And of course, we went to Parliament the following year, 2015, and during the subprime crisis, for example, similar thing happened. And SARS 2003, we went to Parliament for an additional budget. So this is nothing unusual. Yeah? This is nothing. I mean, this is very unusual times, and the law allows the government to come up with some additional spending, but at some point in time, of course, it will be debated in Parliament.
Datuk Seri, the Prime Minister, when announcing the package, acknowledged that this was not the government that people, or some people at least, had voted for. And there is an issue about whether this is the best government to take charge of the economy and, in fact, social life at this point in time. People looked askance at the fact that we have one health minister, two deputy health ministers, and yet the government said needed to appoint an advisor on public health. Is this government operating at maximum efficiency?
Well, firstly, let me divert a bit. We have a good economic team. We have a Prime Minister who has got many years of experience in government, more than 40 years. We have a good economic team. Senior Minister Datuk Seri Azmin, Tunku Zafrul and myself, we work very closely with each other. Health is a very important issue, and perhaps the Prime Minister needs more help. I mean, we have a minister and two deputy ministers, but it is such a very important issue, and Tan Sri Dr. Jamila has brought in a lot of fresh perspective into the way we manage things, and I've interacted with her, not only now, but in the past. I find her to be very constructive, and she's got lots of good ideas, and she's an asset to the government of Malaysia.
Datuk Seri, I'd like to take a look at economic life after the MCO and during a time of a pandemic. You know, it will change the way we live. We will definitely be implementing or observing physical and social distancing, and I'm sure that will change the nature of our economy and the way we produce and consume. Can you weigh in on how you think the landscape of the Malaysian economy will change post-MCO during a time of COVID?
Yes, indeed. This is an opportunity for us to revisit some policies on industry, how we promote investments, how we address the issue of low wages, how we address the issue of poverty. I mean, as you know, there's been quite some criticism about the way how we measure poverty. So this is an opportunity for us to upskill our workers, to look at our curriculum. A wonderful opportunity. And in the next few days, next week, my secretariat, my team, together with MOF and EPU, will be sitting with our colleagues in the universities, those representing business organizations, civil society, we'll start thinking about post-COVID, yeah? And we need the best minds to work on this. And I want to assure the Malaysian public that it is important for us to rebuild confidence post-COVID. Post-COVID will, I mean, the situation we're in now will enable us to have a fresh look at some of our policies. And I think we would be in a better position to implement policies that will put Malaysia on an even stronger basis to move forward, especially to achieve our goal to be a developed nation in the context of the shared prospective vision, which is going to be launched, already launched in October, but will start in the 12th Malaysia Plan until the year 2030. So this is an opportunity for us to do lots of fundamental changes to address some of the challenges we are currently facing in the Malaysian economy.
That's right. Do you think there might be parts of the economy that might, in fact, suffer irreparable damage? Think of the tourism industry, because it's so much dependent on confidence, on people, and in fact, what knowledge we have of the particular pandemic, I mean, of the virus itself. Do you think there be parts of the economy that will not recover from this crisis?
Tourism is important. It employs lots of people and is one of the most badly affected sectors. The lesson we learned from the current episode is that we cannot be too dependent on some countries when it comes to tourism, when it comes to trade, for example. We need to diversify, we need to deepen the structure of the Malaysian economy. Yes, some businesses might have to be fundamentally changed. There's got to be more online businesses. We need to promote the digital economy, e-commerce, yeah? And these are kind of things. This is an opportunity. Yeah, we don't know at this point in time which businesses will leave the scene. But certainly there will be a fundamental shift in the Malaysian economy. We have to move up the value chain. We have to work harder in order to enhance productivity and improve the school and university curriculum so that we become a high-income economy. Many Malaysians, as you know, earn relatively low wages, although we aspire to be a developed nation. The fact is our incomes are low. If our aspiration is to be a developed nation by the year 2020, we have to do a lot of things in order to improve the way we promote investments, the way we promote industries. And in tourism, for example, we need to target more longer haul tourists coming to this country, tourists who spend more money. The tourist expenditure per person has got to go up. So these are the kind of things that we need to look at. And this is a wonderful opportunity.
We have maybe a couple of minutes left.
Yes.
These are the mantras of politicians over the last decade of, improving education, of, the IR 4.0. Everybody talks about this, that these are just platitudes in many ways, right? This crisis has exposed some of the deepest structural problems within our economy and the vulnerability of so many of our citizens. Will we learn the lessons from this crisis so that we won't be just hearing the same platitudes in the future, that something actually will change?
Yes, we learned a lot from the 97-98 crisis. We implemented a number of reforms. Unfortunately, they did not go far enough. This time around, this is an opportunity. We've learned a lot of lessons. Our health system, our education system, our agriculture has got to be modernized. And we are going to begin our 2021 with the 12th Malaysia Plan. And I am one of the persons involved in government which will drive this new agenda and in the 12th Malaysia Plan. And we need to put a number of new policies in place. We have learned lots of lessons during this pandemic, and we are sure that we'll be able to build a better tomorrow for everyone. We need to rebuild confidence and trust from the people, from the international community, and it is on this basis that we move forward. We have to work together. We have to pool the best brains from government, from industry, from the academic community, from civil society. Inshallah, we will get this done in the next few weeks in charting a better future for our beloved country.
All right, that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight, Datuk Seri.
Unfortunately, okay, Melisa, okay, Sharaad, thank you so much.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon, at a distance, I'm sure. That's all the time we have for this episode of Consider This. I'm Melisa Idris, with me, Sharaad, Kuttan, signing off for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.